pops. And yeah, Green Lantern. You see it right there, right? So I have to be honest, guys. I've been enjoying some of the Dawn of DC. I've been trying to evaluate each of the different ones. I'm not thrilled about all this happening. I've talked about this before. I can't stand the fact that they want to reboot, restart, change all that. Then they also want to celebrate, the 900th issue or whatever. But here we are. We're in it. Let's try to focus on some of the positives and negatives. Give them a fair evaluation. And I will say this: it is a Green Lantern story. There's a backup story we'll get to. This is the cover. And I will say this is his name is Adams. He has got a lot of we get down here to the back. So it's very important that you get all this, right? So here you go. Jeremy Adams. Artist is Xermanico, I think is how you would say his name. It's important though that you get this, and I think this is very important that we have this, and we do shine the light on why this is important, because if you're going to have these jump in moments, and you have decades of lore, some of them haven't always done a good job of helping us understand what's going on, so we can have the proper context to get in and move forward with them, right? So this is explaining that the Guardians of O have disappeared. In their absence, United Planets has seized control of the Green Lantern Corps, and basically, they have quarantined off Sector 2814. It's an unsafe liability, right? Earth lanterns have been reassigned, and basically, it's just become a mess, right? So now what do? Back on Earth, and we have this little introduction of some trap miners, and then you have Green Lantern show up, and it's Hal. So this is a Hal Jordan story, right? And I did say we do have a backup story. This is probably the first time where I'm not only thankful there's a backup story, I like the backup story. This backup story actually worked very well for me. So just a few of the pages. I'm going to scroll quickly. It all sets up very much like a movie would, a jumping in point where you can have a little bit of knowledge from the past, but it's not required. We're going to catch you up very quickly. We're going to help you understand some of the dynamics of his powers and relationships. And basically, Green Lantern's on screen behind. You can see him saving them before. She turns around again. I hate this cursing nonsense, this PG-13 nonsense. At least it's censored out, but still. All right, so this is how all's going to progress. And then basically he's there waiting, and he's just being flirtatious. She's just trying to blow him off, has a boyfriend, whatever. And then it's sort of a cut to people reacting to the fact that there is a Green Lantern back, right? So, and there's a villain. We don't have much about this villain. We don't need to know much about this villain. And then we're going to cut flashback a month earlier, and you're going to have a little bit of the setup. And what's really good about the setup is the fact that it centers around Hal himself putting himself in harm's way to save someone. So there's this action fight sequence from this villain in a suit, Steel Fury, whatever, right? And the suit is explained and all that. But what you get is you get the police who are like, "Oh, nothing's working. We can't get anything to do. What do we do now?" And you have sort of like they flash back and forth. So you have two storylines that are happening. Him in our current time needing a job and going to Carol. And you see these planes. It's all very color coordinated with which jet he's in. Obviously, the dialogue boxes are all colored appropriately, and you have that as sort of what's kind of taking place there. So let me move forward just a little bit in the story. It's action. At least something is happening. But I want to get to what I think is what made this work for me, and that is here we get him crashing the car into this guy, right? And you start to get this idea of the suit and what's going on, and you realize Hal's being a hero. He's got a man, so it says, "You don't know what you're doing. That's Manhunter armor. It's dangerous," right? And then he becomes Green Lantern. Like the ring is there, and he's Green Lantern now, and it's freaking great. I got to be honest; it made me want more. So don't want to spoil all the details for you. That's a lot of it. And then we have a little bit of a backstory. Just a couple of shots here. We have John and his mama. And let me get to this close-up shot. I think it will come up. Let me see this close-up shot right here of mama. mama crying, and it's so good because she's like, she gets who he is and who he has to be. And I thought it was done very, very well. Like I really love it. She goes, John, I know I gave you a scare, but I'm all right. Don't anyone take care of me. Besides, I know someone will need you to be their hero, and you'll have to leave again, and that's okay. That's a really, really good story arc for Jon Stewart. That is some really good stuff for Jon Stewart. There's more that's going on here. Just a quick tease on all of that. I don't want to get into it. And a lot of this was not explained. So this is a little bit of what else is going on with the other lanterns and some conflict of things that are happening here. If I had a regret, it's like a little bit of this is more like set up for more, which I don't mind. It's being in the backstory rather than something that's more front and center. And they have a big reveal at the end of that. And that's kind of like the title of that backup story for the next issue. This was written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Artist is Montos. Again, not familiar with a lot of the modern writers and artists and creators, so I apologize if I'm selling them short. You got favorites that you like. I will say they also set this up, which I thought might be worth a read. I don't know what you guys think I should do or not. It's called the We Are Legends. It's basically Dawn of DC expands to the We Are Legends initiative. And it's just them kind of being woke. It's like Spirit World, The Vigil, and City Boy are basically just Asian heroes. So we're just going to pay attention to the Pacific Island Heritage Month. So it's just contrived stuff for that reason. And I'm not a fan of them doing it for that reason, but I'm also not a fan of just hating on it and not giving it a fair chance. I would say it's only about like 30% chance I'll get to it because of time, but not that I would have an aversion to doing it. Maybe you guys will leave in the chat whether or not you think I should do it or not. So that's my take on it. Thank you guys for watching. I am Pops. Appreciate you guys so much for watching. Take care.
Yeah. Right? And I'm not playing